talked about a grand jury, which has survived in the US because it's constitutionally entrenched. Is there a place in Australia for a grand jury? And could you just briefly explain that process?
Well, the wonderful thing about the grand jury is that it involves ordinary people. You rely on the common sense of ordinary people. And what would happen if we had the grand jury involved in this sort of thing? ICAC would do its investigation. If it thought there were a crime there, everything it did would be completely secret. It would then have a grand jury empaneled. They're usually larger than the normal jury. They usually go up to 24. But they're very old English invention. And the whole purpose of the grand jury is to investigate privately, while it remains secret, as to whether there is probable cause that there is in fact a crime. In fact, they play the role of what we have in the prima facie investigation by a magistrate's court, which are usually held in public. The great advantage is it's private, it relies on the common sense of ordinary people, and if they decide that the matter should then go into prosecution, it is then referred by them. The bill is marked a true bill, and then it goes before an ordinary court,
and then it becomes
a judge and jury. It would then become public.
Hey everybody, so I am really excited about the role of the sheriff. Now there's a lot to that, and I'm not going to be able to unpack all of that in one article, so I will probably spend a little more time digging into this over the course of a couple weeks. I also want to look at the difference between the office of the sheriff and the police department, which is a department. Well, let me correct you on that. It's not a department. So maybe this is common knowledge to people, but I didn't really know this, or I had never really kind of digested this before. But the sheriff's department is incorrect. It's a misnomer. It is called the office of the sheriff, and with real good reason. So we have a police department, we have a department of education, a department of this, a department of that. And department, the word literally entails a government agency that is hired directly by someone else in the government, paid by them, and they are subject or subordinate to someone in government. So in other words, at the police level, we have a PD, here we have a city police department and a city chief of police, right? And the chief of police is actually going to be hired by either the city manager or the, I believe it was the city council. City council or even the mayor. And this group of people who hires him are therefore his direct bosses or her direct boss. So this chief of police is going to be accountable to whoever hired them and going to have specific job descriptions and duties based on that. And they can be fired by these people as well. And the department, the police department, is a department of the government. It is directly subject to and accountable to other levels of government. The office of the sheriff is the polar opposite of that, which is why it holds the name office. And so as I was researching and reading more about this, because this retired sheriff corrected me on this, I was realizing that it's just the same as the office of the president or the office of the governor or any office that's political office. We call them an office because they are directly accountable to and directly hired by the citizenry. So we directly elect sheriffs in this country, which is the only directly elected law enforcement agent in the entire country. And it is the only constitutional law enforcement agent in the entire country. In other words, this is the office of the sheriff is a direct creation of the Constitution. So a police department or the chief of police could be eliminated or created by law, but this means that it's subject to law. Its existence is literally subject to law. The existence of the office of the sheriff is not subject to law. It is a constitutionally created office. So therefore, this means that the sheriff has a vast amount of discretion in his realm of power because he is directly elected by the people. Therefore, there is no direct superior to the sheriff in his realm of power. Now, his realm of power is confined to a county. for the most part, it's counties in the United States. There are a couple places that are called parishes. There may be a few other names, but the county is where the sheriff is going to more or less be the chief law enforcement officer. You could almost call him the president of the county. And he has deputy sheriffs who will be subject directly to him and acting as his agents. They are essentially mini sheriffs, right? But this is so much information, but it's amazing to have been able to learn. And so this discretion allows the sheriff to operate more freely in his realm of power, right? He is not directly subject to any direct superior other than the people and the Constitution. And so this is where the Constitution really comes into play.
Is sitting right next to me. His name is Sheriff Bob Songer. He's the sheriff of Klickitat County in Central Washington. Sheriff, thank you for being with us.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your courageous stand. Your topic today was setting up a constitutional posse in your county. For the folks out there who maybe aren't familiar with the law enforcement lingo, maybe they haven't watched a lot of Western movies, what does it mean to set up a posse, and what does it mean to have a constitutional posse?
Well, really it's not called a constitutional posse, it's a posse, sheriff's posse. In 2014, when I was first elected sheriff, we had a manpower shortage like most agencies have. So what I did a community policing thing. So I reached out to the community and got volunteer citizens, and we do a background check to make sure they're not convicted felons or child molesters or anything like that. They got a clean record, and it's all volunteer on their part. Good citizens of the county to assist the sheriff in his duties within the county. I would point out I've got about 150 posse members, and I started that program in 2015 when I took office. And my God, the far left just went nuts. Sheriff Songer's out there, he's got a posse, he's going to be tracking down immigrants and hanging people from oak trees. No, I'm serious.
Oh, goodness.
Of course, I wasn't the majority of the people saying that, but there was that far left woke group that just literally hates me anyway.
Yeah.
And furthest from the truth. First of all, the posse has no arrest authority. Okay, it's like a county-wide crime watch. They go through training each month. We have some training we go through with them, and we have 3 divisions that make west end of the county, central division of the county, and then the far east end of the county. And these are really good, outstanding citizens and helping the sheriff out. And I tell people, as an elected sheriff, I'm a constitutional sheriff. Yes, my job as an elected sheriff, and I'm in my 3rd term, even at the degree of some folks, but I'm in my 3rd term, and I got about 2 years, a little over 2.5 years to go, finish this 3rd term out. And I've been in this business 55 years already, so I'll have 2 more years, so I'll be around 57, 58 years.
Wow.
By the time I retire out. And for those far lefties that don't like me, I might not retire. I'm not sure.